The version of you that has everything you desire, they are not coming someday. They are available right now. Stop waiting to become who you're meant to be. I did spend at least 5 years waiting. Do I regret it? Maybe, yes. I could have done it before if I knew, if somebody had told me that before, but nobody did. So I had to wait to become that version of me. Most people spend their lives waiting to feel worthy, waiting for the right moment, waiting for external validation that they are ready to step into their power. But what if I told you that your future self, the one living your dream life, is not a destination you arrive at, but an identity you embody starting today? It sounds simple, but trust me, if it's simple, it means it has more depth into it. Today, I'm going to show you how to make the final identity shift that ends the waiting game forever. Let's get deeper on this, shall we? Hello, beautiful. Welcome to my sacred space. My name is Asla and my mission is simple: to help you manifest the version of you that's living in your desired reality with love, joy, and absolute ease. Let's dive in. What I'm going to tell you in this video is not about pretending or fake it till you make it. This is about recognizing who you already are and finally giving yourself permission to live from that truth. And this is the key point in this video, but I'm gonna give it to you right now because I love this so much. It made the huge shift for me, and I hope it will make the huge shift in you and for your life now. So it's all about permission, okay? Who says that you don't have proof to believe in yourself? Who says that you can't feel worthy because you don't have a relationship, that money or status? Who says that you can't feel happy or grateful because you don't have proof for that? You don't have anything to be grateful for. It's your mind. Your mind's excuses keep telling you that you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to step into your power. You're not allowed to become that confident, higher version of yourself. And if you detach yourself from your mind and step into the consciousness, pure aware consciousness, and become bigger than your mind, bigger than your body, bigger than your emotions, environment, circumstances, then you don't even need to choose a new version, because this is your natural state. Abundance, ease, love, these are your natural state. You don't need any effort to choose something. You just get to give yourself that permission to return to it by removing your mind from in between, by not tuning into the excuses of your mind about your conditions or 3D proof or people or what happened yesterday and today. You set yourself free to feel or think whatever you want. Become whoever you want. What I mean by this final step: most people are trying to become their future self, but trying implies effort, strain, and possibility of failure. Your future self doesn't try, they simply are. This was the mistake I've done for years. I was always trying to become my future self. I was always on the go. I never let myself to feel whole, enough, worthy. I didn't let myself feel that. And here's what most people miss: your future self is not someone you become. They're someone you recognize you always been underneath the conditioning, underneath the fears, the stories you've been telling yourself. Think about it this way: before the world told you who you should be, there was a version of you that was naturally confident, naturally fearless, naturally creative, naturally deserving. That version never left. It just got buried under the layers of programming. You still have it. So now we're homecoming. returning back to our natural state. And the final identity shift happens when you stop having a regular self and a manifestation self. You stop having a confident self and an insecure self. You integrate. You become one coherent being who operates from your highest identity in every area of your life. It's like taking off a costume you never realized you were wearing. First, you realize the costume, then you take it off. As simple as that. And when you take it off, you start believing you're worthy, you're deserving, you're this new version of you right now. How are you going to sustain this? Right? Because tomorrow life will happen the same way as yesterday. Tomorrow there's going to be another challenge. Tomorrow there will be another test moment, so-called test moment, that will try to get you back into that comfort zone. So let's get into the second part about maintaining the shift without slipping back. The reason why most people can't maintain the identity shift is because they're still relating to the old self as their real self and their new identity as something they're trying to maintain. Something foreign, something unfamiliar. But permanent transformation happens when your new identity becomes more familiar than the old one. This requires constant choice making from your new identity until it becomes automatic. And that, my friend, means consistency, discipline, self-love, self-trust, making the hard choices, but it's fun, isn't it? So there are 3 pillars of maintenance. The first pillar is environmental alignment. Your environment must reflect your new identity. This includes the people you spend time with, the content you consume, the spaces you inhabit. Your future self wouldn't tolerate environments that diminish them. Second pillar is daily identity rituals. This is not only about morning and night routines. Create daily practices that reinforces your new identity. Moments throughout the day where you consciously choose to think, feel, act from this upgraded self. Could be taking a walk, could be doing some focused work, could be meditating and feeling like that version, but constantly throughout the day. Okay. Third pillar is boundary enforcement. Your future self has completely different boundaries than your old self. They don't accept treatments, opportunities, or friendships, relationships that are beneath their standards. Maybe that you need to do some self-concept work. You need to raise your standards to the standards of your new version. I will link down a video about this. Enforcing these boundaries daily is how you stay in your new identity. How you protect your new identity. Your old identity doesn't need protection. That's fear. But your new identity needs protection, and that's boundaries. Let's get into the third part. How do you align your actions, thoughts, and energy? We always talk about this, but what it really means in practical terms. True identity shift requires what I call alignment or coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, feelings, actions, and energy are all broadcasting the same message about who you are, what you believe, right? These are all coming down to your subconscious programming, right? Your belief system. Once you reprogram your belief system and your nervous system, this shifts everything easily. But to reprogram your nervous system, you need to become aware of your thoughts, actions, emotions, feelings, and your body, how it feels in real time, and track it back, like reverse engineer down to the belief. And then don't keep entertaining those thoughts, emotions, and feelings, because that will reinforce the old belief system. Instead, make a shift and align with the new version. So I will try to simplify this for you. Before making any decision, ask yourself, what would the desired version of me living in my desired life choose here? Then choose that. Even if it feels uncomfortable, because it will feel uncomfortable. It must be uncomfortable. That's an unfamiliar zone. You haven't believed that you are a killer, you're successful, you're the most confident. You haven't done that yet. So it is going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but that's fine. Your future self carries a different energy. They are not desperate, needy, or frantically trying to prove themselves. They are calm, centered, and magnetic. This energy comes from knowing, not hoping, that you are worthy of everything you desire. You are enough. You've done enough. You're doing just great. Here, I will also link down another video about emotional needs, because if you have unmet emotional needs, this will make you attached, needy, and spiraling in the old self. And when it comes to action alignment, I want to quickly touch on this because most people get stuck here. They think the right thoughts, but take action from the old identity. Your future self makes different choices. They invest in themselves differently. They communicate differently. They show up differently. You gotta prove it with your actions, baby. And those actions should not be from a place of, I'm not enough, so I have to prove myself. But that should be from a place of, I am enough, let me show it to you. That certainty, that knowing, that confidence should be reflected in your actions. Let's move on to the fourth part. Why this identity shift must feel natural, not forced. If you're forcing your new identity, you're still operating from lack of trust that you naturally deserve to be this version of yourself. Your new identity should feel like coming home to yourself, not like putting yourself on a performance. When it feels natural, you know you're aligned with your authentic expansion and not trying to become someone you're not. I will give you some signs of natural identity integration so you can so that you can catch it in yourself. First, you stop thinking about it constantly because there is no gap, there is no distance anymore. You embody it. It's right here. Second, it becomes effortless to make choices from this identity. And don't worry, my friend, it's gonna take some time. Third, other people will start treating you differently without you asking them. Fourth, opportunities will align with your new identity automatically without you chasing them. And fifth, your old patterns will feel foreign and uncomfortable and uneasy. So this is a sign that you're naturally shifting to your new identity. Often, the only thing standing between you and your future self is permission. Permission to be that grateful. Permission to be that successful, that happy, that confident. You don't give yourself, actually your mind doesn't give yourself permission because it is seeking proof from the treaty. Your future self has already given themselves permission. The question is, when will you? It's time. Today. Now. So about that, let's move on to part 5, the power of habituation. Making the shift permanent requires repetition. Identity is formed through repetition. Your subconscious is learned through repetition. Your nervous system learns through repetition. Every time you choose to think, feel, act from your new identity, you're strengthening the neural pathways and weakening the old one. In my experience, it takes about 90 days of consistent identity alignment to make a shift permanent. This doesn't mean perfection. I always value progress over perfection. This is what I suggest you to do. It means more often than not, you are choosing your new identity over your old patterns, because there will be moments where you will not be able to choose the new identity, but that's okay. You can use 80 to 20 principle. I don't know, track your wins in a different way, but at least a 90 days period, stick to it. And also there's a compound effect which will make your life easier. Each day you operate from your new identity, it becomes easier the next day, like building a muscle. You're literally building new neural pathways that supports your upgraded self the next moment. Your proof is not in the 3D, it's in what you chose and become yesterday. or this morning or just right now. This is your proof. Once your new identity is established, you just don't maintain it, you expand it, because your future self is always evolving, always growing, always becoming more of who they're meant to be. So this is not a destination to arrive at. You will grow. So you're growing always. But I know doubt will kick in, right? And you will have these weak moments. Therefore, let's get into part 6, overcoming doubt and strengthening your self-concept. I have to tell you this, doubts don't disappear when you embody your future self, though they transform. It's an energy as well, right? Instead of doubting whether you're worthy or capable, you might doubt whether you're dreaming big enough. And to do this, you need to strengthen your self-concept. And your future self has an upgraded self-concept that includes beliefs like, I'm magnetic to my desires, I deserve ease, I deserve abundance, I'm constantly evolving and expanding. So now, I know you wait for proof to believe in those words, but the reality works the opposite way. First, you choose to believe without proof, then comes the proof. You embody that self-concept now, you choose it, and then your proof comes in. When you see the proofs, you will believe more, trust more, but first you need to choose trusting, choose believing, because without you becoming that new version, making that identity shift, the reality never manifests. In order to manifest the reality, you need to become that version first, without any proof. That's the deal. What I recommend is that you start collecting evidence of your new identity. Not results, not the outcome, your new identity. Maybe keep a journal of moments when you acted from your future self, moments where you were triggered but didn't slip back into the old patterns. And just notice when others respond to your upgraded energy. The universe will, other people will. If you celebrate every choice that aligns with your becoming, your programming will get easier and easier and easier, because you're going to be feeding your brain with dopamine every time you celebrate this new version of you. Not the outcome, not the result, new version of you. And if and when doubt arises, don't fight it. Don't really fight it. It's going to consume your energy. It's going to divide your energy. We don't need that. We need all your attention, all your energy, your focus on the desired reality, desired identity, right? So ask yourself, is this doubt coming from my future self or my old self? Then choose to respond from your future self's perspective. And part 7, quantum leaps versus gradual transformation. I like this very much. Both are valid paths. Okay, some people experience identity shifts as quantum leaps, sudden dramatic transformation that happen in these moments of clarity or crisis. Others experience gradual evolution over time, and I've experienced both of them. I've had quantum leaps, but most of the time I was gradually transforming because I was at the same time healing. And that's what I teach in my channel, right? It's not only about manifesting a desired reality, it's about healing and becoming more of what you truly are and becoming less of what you've been conditioned to be. And it's a very spiritual process. Therefore, I've experienced this gradual transformation, and I can tell you it's very painful because you expect the result, but the result almost never comes. So it feels like you're just pushing and pushing and pushing to manifest the reality. But this also shows you that you're acting from the old identity who is pushing to make things happen. So if you are stuck in these kind of loops or this kind of unease, it means you gotta do some inner work, right? I'm just gonna quickly summarize these two different experiences. Quantum leaps often happen when you reach a breaking point in your old identity, make a decision that there is no going back, or experience something that shifts your entire perspective. Whereas the gradual transformation happens through consistent daily choices aligned with your future self, small identity upgrades that compound over time, steady expansion of your comfort zone. Whether your shift is gradual or sudden, the maintenance principles are the same. You must consistently choose your new identity over your old patterns until it becomes automatic. Okay, we're almost there. Final part 8, living as your fully embodied future self. This is the picture that we need to hold in our minds and in our nervous system, because that is the version of you, that is the frequency that you're trying to align with. So what full embodiment looks like. When you're fully embodied in your future self, you no longer question your worthiness, whether you're enough, you're doing enough. Your manifestations flow effortlessly because you're aligned with who you need to be to receive them. Also, you're detached, you're emotionally healed, and now you're seeking progress over perfection, and you're seeking alignment over outcome. You make decisions quickly because you know who you are, what you stand for, and what are your principles. You stop consuming and start creating. You also inspire others by simply being yourself, because now you're serving to your purpose. Now you're embodying that version, so it's an inspiration for everybody. And finally, you continue evolving despite the fear and without the resistance. Now you are wiser, and you know nothing is gonna make you whole unless you feel whole and complete right now, because growth never ends. Even when you become that future self, growth will continue. Will that make you less than, or not enough, or lacking? No. You are whole, you are enough, and you will always be. The new normal is this. What once felt as a stretch becomes your new baseline. What once required effort becomes effortless. What once felt impossible becomes inevitable. I promise you, you have everything you need to make that final identity shift. I've waited so long to become ready, to become enough, to become, I don't know, trust in myself. But I already had everything within me. So do you. You have everything you need to make that shift right now. The question isn't whether you're capable. The question is whether you are willing. So I want you to spend the next 24 hours making every single choice from your new future self's perspective. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things are ready. Starting right now and for another 24 hours, despite the mind's excuses. Promise me, despite whatever your mind, your circumstances, your 3D tries to prove you, you will keep embodying the future self. And in the comments below, I want you to complete this sentence. My future self is someone who blank. Declare who you're choosing to be, because the moment you declare it, you begin to become it. Your nervous system remembers that feeling. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.